All right, welcome back, guys. This is the SGPN Fantasy Football Podcast on the Sports Line Podcast Network, presented to you by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays, live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign up today. You bet $100, you're going to get $100 back at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. We are going through our rookie profiles. And we are going to talk about Dalton Kincaid. We haven't talked about tight ends yet, so we got two of them that we're going to be doing. So make sure you check out the Michael Mayer episode as well. As always, like, subscribe, comment, leave us a review. It helps support the show. It lets the guys at the big network know that we're doing good work, and we always appreciate that. It also helps you guys make sure that you're not missing out on mock drafts, free jersey giveaways, and all the other stuff. And again, we're going through probably 30 or 40 of these players to get ready for the draft. So Dalton Kincaid, Brad, you start us off.
Yeah, we're talking Dalton Kincaid, tight end for the Utah Utes, coming in at 6'4", 240 pounds. And this is one of the newfound, hey, we want tight ends who have that basketball experience. And he is that ex-basketball player who we saw improve over the last 3 seasons for the Utes. He did transfer in 2020, and he never looked back and looked absolutely dominant this year with 70 catches for 890 yards and 8 touchdowns. Here's what you need to know about Dalton Kincaid. Go watch the USC game. That's the game to go watch, and you'll see everything in the upside that Dalton Kincaid can provide you. He is absolutely the best receiving tight end in this class, hands down. He is that fluid runner. He's got some sharp route running. He's got a lot of good things about him, and I'm going to let Dave tell you all about them.
Yeah, when I'm watching Dalton Kincaid play, it's another one of those receivers at the tight end position. He's very fluid with his routes. There's not a lot of wasted movement, and he's an athlete. You know, you get these guys that catch the ball and fall down. Like those tight ends are like they're good for the NFL. They're not really great for fantasy. Dalton Kincaid is not that dude. He is an athletic, really good route running tight end. He's got soft hands, and you can see him with his body control where like today my guy Pope put out a GIF that said, "Kincaid, I see you," because he made it was one of those timing routes, a back shoulder throw, and he just goes up, snatched it off the ground, toe tap like Nate Burleson, 1 foot down, got it in. And then you saw the USC game. This guy had an ankle sprain. They were having to pick him up after every play. And they would go in the huddle, be like, Kincaid's getting the ball. USC goes in the huddle, like, Kincaid's getting the ball. He's triple covered, and he catches the ball. And they just went down the field repeatedly. It's 17 receptions in that game. And being able to be the featured person on your offense in any form of football, that shows that you have some elite traits and that you are, and this is USC Utah. This is a guy that was dominating. He had some other good performances. Of course, you can't put all of your eggs in one basket on that game, but that is by far his best game. And you saw him in in their bowl game. He played really well. When they beat Utah and Caleb Williams had the cute stuff on his fingernails. So let's go through the pros. Playmaker. This dude is an absolute playmaker. Over the middle of the field, he's not just a seam threat or a red zone threat. Some of these guys are just tall touchdown monsters. They're great, but this guy can be an absolute piece of this offense. His hands, he doesn't drop anything. This guy has, soft hands. Athletic skill set is just, again, he just looks really fluid out there. He looks like he's been running routes since he came out of the womb. I mean, this guy is just he is one of the most polished tight ends that we've seen in a while. His blocking that's the raw part of his game. He's a basketball player turned. So when you're talking about that part of his game, that's the raw part. He's a little shorter, 6'4", 6'3", depending on where he comes in. You want, so let's say we're tight end 6'5", 6'6". He doesn't necessarily have that length. And I think that is part of the issue with the blocking. But, of course, with transitioning. But as far as a route runner and as far as an athlete, he is one of the most polished players out there. And I gave him Greg Dulcich plus as my player comparison. And for those who know Chris Cooley, that I thought was who I was watching when he was out there. Just really, really, really looked like Chris Cooley out there. And if you don't know who Chris Cooley is, go pop in some YouTube tape for Chris Cooley.
I like it. I like it. The big concern for me around guys like this is, what does it look like from a development perspective, right? How many of these super athletic tight ends have been successful for us, right? Noah Fant coming out, a top 20, first round draft pick in the NFL draft, and kind of a dud. Mike Gesicki not really performing to the level that we had kind of hoped that he would. So lately these basketball players / super athletic freak tight ends haven't yet performed. So it's a little, I want to see where he goes, how they're going to utilize him. The offensive coordinator is important for me in this situation. So there is some hesitation for me around him just because of those things right now.
Yeah. And you're going to see the good and the bad. I mean, some of your better tight ends, your Dallas Goederts and your Zach Ertz's and your Travis Kelce's, they played basketball too.
Yep.
Just wasn't necessarily their main thing. I think he's a much better football player than Mike Gesicki is. I wasn't a big Gesicki fan coming out.
I'm Penn State, so
I
guess.
I definitely think that he is. For me, he's a better prospect. But again, you got to fix the blocking. That's the big knock on him, is the blocking and some of those things. But if you're just going to use him, like an Evan Ingram style, just get him out there and go. I think he can be a top 3 weapon. And for your fantasy football teams, if you're looking for a top 12 tight end, you're looking for somebody that is top 3 in the targets pecking order. And I think this guy can demand targets right away. The reason I say Greg Dulcich plus, Dulcich is more of he's a seam buster. He doesn't have a lot of routes. He's just someone that goes up the seam, catches the ball, and you saw that a lot in college, these big plays, but he wasn't necessarily a possession guy. He wasn't breaking people, off of the routes and stuff like that. And I think that's what you see more of, a combination of both with Kincaid. I think he goes early round 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to see those back-to-back 8 touchdown seasons too, right? So it shows you he can be a red zone threat even at that smaller, undersized tight end position, right? So
all right, well, thanks for checking out this episode. Let us know what you think about our player comp and our thoughts on Dalton Kincaid. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. It really helps appreciate the show. It doesn't cost you a dime to do that. We appreciate you guys. As always, good luck this week.